Good morning, Arizona and the rest of the world. Maricopa County has lots of visitors coming to see the audit. But what do we need? We need, or what do the auditors need? The auditors need, I consider it we, because this is a we the people audit for America. We need the Splunk logs, the hardware tokens, and the chain of custody of the ballots from November 3rd to April 8th. None of those things have been turned over to the auditors for the full deep dive forensic audit. So here we have something, it's a call to action. AZ machine audit stalled because of county supervisor's obstruction. According to me, the machine portion of the audit is hitting a snag because the supervisors are withholding two key subpoenaed items, Splunk logs and hardware tokens. The Senate subpoena can be enforced in two ways: via contempt resolution, which requires never Trump or Paul Boyer's cooperation. Put pressure on Boyer, write and call Boyer every day, multiple times per day. Demand his cooperation in enforcing the subpoena. He needs to vote yes to hold the supervisors in contempt. And there is his email and his AZ Senate phone number, not his cell phone. Some of you might know what that's about. By filing, or number two, so number one, to hold, to tell Paul Boyer that we need to hold the Board of Supervisors in contempt. And number two, by filing a motion to compel with the court, write and call Senators Karen Fann and Warren Peterson, communicate your appreciation for their heroic efforts on our behalf. Ask them to file a motion to compel. No one withholds evidence unless there is something to hide. And then there is Karen Fann and Warren Peterson. They are both senators. Karen Fann is the Senate president, and then Warren Peterson is the chair of the Judiciary Committee. All right, so that's the call to action for today. And then here we have breaking. Freight train of state delegations coming today. 9 states will have visited the audit center and only 1 pallet of ballots left to count. 9 state delegations will receive an on-the-tour scene of the historic Arizona audit on Friday. We have 9 state delegations touring the audit tomorrow. Stay tuned for updates. As of Tuesday, only 6 states had toured the facility. On Thursday, Virginia State Senator Amanda Chase was the 7th. So here we go. This is the article. On Tuesday, 3 state delegations were there. It was Georgia, Alaska, and Colorado. This is huge. 9 states, more than doubles the amount of delegations that have received a tour of the audit with hopes of replicating it. The freight train of audits is full steam across the country. Boris Epstein on Bannon's War Room. The first ever full forensic audit of Maricopa County's 2020 election is almost finished with the hand counting process of the audit. There is only 1 untouched pallet of ballot boxes remaining. More paper evaluation tables have been completely set up, and the plan is to increase the speed of that process. The hand recount is finishing shortly, but the paper evaluation will still take a few weeks longer. This process should be completed by the end of June. Shortly after, they will provide a national report with their findings. Christina Bobb reported on OANN that she expects to see that the count is not even close to what was certified, due to the fact that some ballots are missing up to 20% of the ballots that should be there. If there is anything less than 2.1 million ballots in the AZ audit, it was a fraudulent election and must be decertified. And that is a quote by Christina Bobb on June 11th, 2021. I'm sure most of us agree with that. All right, so that's that article. All right, then we've got, just to remind everyone, we've got the recall Rusty Bowers. We only have so many days left for this. But Rusty Bowers, if you would like to go help get signatures, I believe I believe they're paying people to help get signatures at this point. Check with them though. And the Circulator Daily drop off and pickup, Timeout Sports Grill, and this is essentially at Greenfield and the 60 in Mesa, Arizona. And they are there. They're there Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's the Rusty Bowers recall. All right, what else do we have going on? Let's see. All right, we have, this is DeSantis. This is long. This is from a week ago, but this is DeSantis and the social media stuff that he did. So I just want to mention this quickly. DeSantis in Florida, a $100,000 fine if someone is censored. I'm suggesting that the other 49 states make it a $1 million fine. It should be that simple. $1 million. Okay, here is another article. Okay, another article. Wisconsin. Close this. Okay. Wisconsin GOP lawmakers plan trip to see Arizona election audit. Madison, Wisconsin. A group of Wisconsin GOP legislators are planning to fly to Arizona to watch a contentious review of 2020 ballots. Contentious review of 2020 ballots. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports 6 lawmakers and a legislative aide asked to travel to Phoenix on Friday, observe a recount of ballots in Maricopa County, and return to Wisconsin on Saturday, including Assembly Representative Rachel Cabral, I can't say that, Guevara from Appleton and David Murphy from Greenville. The review has drawn criticism from around the country. Maricopa County's Republican-led Board of Supervisors called the review a sham last month. Arizona's Secretary of State has been documenting irregularities with the audit. The trip comes after Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Vos hired former police officers to review the Wisconsin ballots. All right, so that's Wisconsin's coming. So, I mean, like, wow. What else do we have? All right, we have some stuff on critical race theory. That was the, I have a bunch of stuff on critical race theory. Okay, we got Wisconsin. All righty, and then we have an article here. I'll just put this up quickly. This is from yesterday. It's somewhat related. Okay. Senator Tom Cotton speaks during a hearing to examine United States Special Operations Command and the United States Cyber Command in review. In review for the defense authorization request for fiscal year 2022 and future years defense program on Capitol Hill. Okay, so hundreds of whistleblowers say military forcing an anti-American indoctrination on them. All right, so this is pretty bad. And then this goes, what does it do? It goes right into anti-American indoctrination, including critical race theory. So the critical race theory, I mean, it is just getting so much traction right now. I mean, here we've got Florida Board of Education unanimously votes to ban critical race theory. The woke class wants to teach kids to hate each other rather than teaching them how to read. But we will not let them bring nonsense ideology into Florida schools, says Governor DeSantis. Now here we have another article. Smear of mom Nicole Solas was prepared by public relations firm hired. Emily steps down as chair of school committee, blames others for smear of Nicole. The PR firm delivered me 3 statements, one for social media, one for Fox News, and one to be read at last Wednesday's meeting. All right, let's see. Do we have a video here? Let's see. So I am not familiar with this story, but let's go ahead and watch it.
It was on the phone. I think we all know my name. It's on the agenda. And I'm not stating my address. We all know I live in Lakeville.
Just continue.
Guys, let's speak and let's get through this. We want to hear what everybody has to say, please.
I am a mother with a child enrolled in the district, going into kindergarten. I had questions about her education, and you didn't answer them. You told me to submit public record requests to answer my questions. I did what you told me. And now you're holding a public meeting to discuss suing me for doing what you told me to do. This meeting was meant to publicly humiliate me, and it didn't work. I want to talk about the statement you issued today. It was replete with critical race verbiage, such as equity, which raises serious concerns about CRT in the district. Equity is CRT code word for discrimination based on race. The school committee should focus on equality, treating students without regard to race. Why is the school committee so obsessed with treating students based on their skin color? We need
World's greatest
answers to that, not lawsuits against parents.
World's greatest Maricopa update right here. After months of reporting on this thing, we're down to one last pallet of untouched votes that have to get audited. And then they're done with the count. And they all go on to paper inspection, which will be done by the end of the month. But bigger news is coming.
Hey, drinking with my boys. Hey, I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good.
Hi, I'm DougTenNapel, and this is all good news for Maricopa. I'm happy to report. The fake news media has been completely wrong about this whole thing, but especially breaking a freight train of state delegations are coming to Maricopa today. 9 states will visit. That's after 6 or 7 have already visited this week. And the Virginia State Senator Amanda Chase has said she's exhilarated. This is the gold standard audit. She said, call your legislators and get them all out to Arizona. So the people who don't believe the fake news are actually better informed. This is mostly being reported by Gateway Pundit. And I've also got some articles from the Epic Times. No other media outlet will cover this thing as a journalistic institution. They're too busy name calling. They have no curiosity about facts. They just have an agenda. This is activist journalism at its worst. So we'll keep you posted on those 9 states that visit today. This means that the Maricopa audit is going to be exported all around the United States. This is great news because we need to take a look. The early results from Arizona, again, they're not releasing any specific numbers, but they've only said that the sheer number of missing ballots from the 2.1 million votes that are supposed to be present right now in that arena is staggering. That is, every paper ballot should be there, and they can just tell by the count that there are missing paper ballots. There can be no votes without a ballot associated with it. That is blowout. That's a blowout discovery already. And the numbers are going to come. They'll start collating the numbers and releasing them probably by the end of the month or early July. I'm DougTenNapel, and I'm the happiest guy I know.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to America's Audit Update from the Republican Party of Arizona. I am your chairwoman, Dr. Kelly Ward. Exciting news today. I want to share with you my firsthand experience touring the site of operations for the full forensic audit of the 2020 election ballots in Maricopa County. As you've heard here in prior updates, individuals and elected representatives from many states are touring the audit and are looking at the possibility of taking Arizona's lead and auditing their own election results. My tour, including an in-depth briefing from the auditing team as to their progress to date and a close-up tour of the facilities, was simply amazing. I can report firsthand that America's audit is in great shape and the process is proceeding efficiently and quickly. Now, let's be clear. This is no ordinary take a ballot and run it through the same machine again audit, what the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors wants to call an audit. This is a comprehensive forensic audit that's looking at last November's election from every conceivable perspective. A full hands-on evaluation and hand count, and additional evaluation using the latest technology available. In fact, it was great to see the impressive organization of the audit. When I was there, less than 3 pallets of November ballots remain to be hand counted. The next phase will be to convert many of the hand counting stations to digital imaging stations. That conversion process actually has already begun. They expect that the actual ballot counting will be completed in the very near future, maybe even by June 14th, the president's birthday, although there are many duplicated ballots that have yet to be evaluated. The high-tech imaging process is really impressive, and it's going to take some additional time to do it and to do it right. The imaging looks at the paper being used for the ballots and identifying it. They also look at the actual alignment of the printing of the ballots from the front to the back to see if there are any discrepancies or errors. And they even go so far as to evaluate the little oval that's filled in by voters to see how it was done. Security is rigorous. It is rigorous to the extent that the entire time that I and my husband Mike were in the building, there was always a security person accompanying us. Outside the Coliseum, the Arizona Rangers are providing around-the-clock security and limiting access to only those who are approved to enter the facility. Chain of custody is a priority, okay? Not like when they were at the Maricopa County Tabulation Center. Every time a box of ballots is moved, it's recorded on the chain of custody document. And there is armed security overseeing everything there all the time. America's audit is in great hands. In fact, the audit is everything that the Democrats say it's not. It's professional, it's secure, it's efficient, it's state-of-the-art, and it is completely nonpartisan. More importantly, it is 100% transparent. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to see you at our next update.
That was Kelly Ward. All
Joining me
right.
now is South Carolina
So now
Senator Lindsey Graham.
have-
Senator,
we have something on critical race theory that I wanted to show you. The reason this is near and dear to my heart is that this was a high school. It wasn't the high school I went to, but it was a high school right up, when I say right up the road, New Jersey, northern Jersey. It's just so compact. This was like right up the road, I want to say, like here in Arizona, when you say 10 miles, it's nothing. But in Jersey, especially near the New York City area, when you say 10 miles, there could be like 500,000 people or even 1 million people in that 10-mile span. So it's a very, very urban area. But this is Dwight Englewood. it's a high school. It was a prep high school. It was always, I remember, it was the highfalutin high school that, anyone that went to this particular high school, it was definitely for what they considered today to be the privileged. All right, so here's something good. A teacher took a stand. English teacher quits exclusive New Jersey private school over critical race theory. So let's look at this article. Okay, students have found comfort in their moral certainty, and so they have become rigid and closed-minded, unable and unwilling to consider alternative perspectives. An English teacher named Dana Stengel-Plow has quit her job at the Dwight Englewood School in New Jersey over their decision to implement critical race theory in the school's curriculum. Her description of the effect of this ideology has had on students is disturbing. Dana Kennedy and Tamara Lappin report at the New York Post. Teacher at posh New Jersey prep school quits over critical race theory. An English teacher has resigned from a top New Jersey prep school that is using critical race theory to create a hostile culture of conformity and fear, causing white and male students to believe they are oppressors. Dana Stengel-Plow accused the Dwight Englewood School in Bergen County of forcing students and faculty to embrace a single set of beliefs, choking off free speech in the process. The school's ideology requires students to see themselves not as individuals, but as representatives of a group, forcing them to adopt a status of privilege or victimhood, Stengel-Plow wrote in her letter to the school brass. As a result, students arrive in my classroom accepting this theory as fact. People born with less melanin in their skin are oppressors, and people born with more melanin in their skin are oppressed. Men are oppressors, women are the oppressed, and so on, she continued. Stengel-Plow published her resignation letter. Here is an excerpt via FAIR, Foundation Against Tolerance and Intolerance and Racism. In my classroom, I see up close how this orthodoxy hinders students' ability to read, write, and think. I teach my students who recoil from a poem because it was written by a man. I teach students who approach text in search of the oppressor. I teach students who see inequities in text that have nothing to do with power. Students have internalized the message that this is the way we read and think about the world, and as a result, they fixate on power and group identity. This fixation has stunned their ability to observe and engage with the full fabric of human experience in our literature. In my professional opinion, the school is failing to encourage healthy habits of mind, essential for the growth, such as intellectual curiosity, humility, honesty, reason, and the capacity to question ideas and consider multiple perspectives. In our school, the opportunity to hear competing ideas is practically non-existent. How can students who accept a single ideology as fact learn to practice intellectual curiosity or humility, or consider a competing idea if they've never encountered? How can students develop higher order thinking if they are limited to seeing the world only through the lens of group identity and power? Sadly, the school is leading many to become true believers and outspoken purveyors of a regressive and illiberal orthodoxy. Understandably, these students have found comfort in their moral certainty, and so they have become rigid and closed-minded, unable or unwilling to consider alternative perspectives. In the video below, Stengel-Plow goes over all of this in detail. She describes incidents at the school that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago, such as administrators segregating teachers by race at a faculty meeting.
Today I am resigning from a job that I love. My name is Dana Stengel-Plow. I became an English teacher at Dwight Englewood School 7 years ago because as a parent, I loved how the school both nurtured and challenged my own children, But over the past few years, the school has embraced an ideology that is damaging to our students' intellectual and emotional growth, an ideology that requires students to see themselves not as individuals, but as representatives of either an oppressor or oppressed group. This theoretical framework pervades every division of Dwight Englewood as the singular way of seeing the world. As a result, students now arrive in my classroom accepting ideology simply as fact. I've seen up close how this hinders their ability to read, write, and think. They've become obsessed with power hierarchies. I teach students who recoil from a poem because it was written by a man. I teach students who approach texts in search of the oppressor, who see iniquities in texts that have nothing to do with power. This ideology limits students' ability to observe and engage with the full fabric of human experience in our literature. In my professional opinion as an educator, the school is failing to encourage healthy habits of mind, essential for growth, such as intellectual curiosity, humility, honesty, reason, and the capacity to consider multiple perspectives and weigh competing ideas. In our school, the opportunity even to hear competing ideas is practically non-existent. Sadly, as a result, the school is leading many to become true believers and outspoken purveyors of a regressive and illiberal orthodoxy. Our young students have no idea that the school has placed ideological blinders on them. Of course, not all students are true believers. Many pretend to agree because of pressure to conform. I've heard from students who want to ask a question, but stop out of fear. I've heard from students who don't participate in discussions for fear of being ostracized. One student didn't want to develop her personal essay about an experience she had in another country because she was worried that it might mean she was, without even realizing it, racist. In her fear, she actually stopped herself from thinking, the very definition of self-censorship. I care deeply about our students and our school, and so over the years, I have tried to introduce positive alternative views to our community. My efforts have fallen on deaf ears. The reality is that fear and orthodoxy pervade the faculty. Last fall, administrators told us we were not allowed to question the school's ideological programming. And on at least 2 separate occasions, our head of school even went so far as to tell the entire faculty that he would fire all of us if he could, so that he could replace us all with people of color. This February, during a faculty meeting, teachers were segregated by skin color. White teachers were placed into a white caucus group, asked to remember that we are white and to take responsibility for our power and privilege. I reject this essentialist, racialist thinking about myself and my colleagues, and I worry for the students. Will racial segregation be forced on them next? I am fully aligned with the values in Dwight Englewood's mission statement: community, diversity, courage, and making the world a better place. As an educator, I strive to create an inclusive classroom by embracing the dignity and individuality of each and every student, regardless of their cultural or group identifiers. My humanist approach cultivates a mutual respect and empathy, curiosity, and open-mindedness. I want to empower all students with the skills and habits of mind they need to fulfill their potential as learners and human beings. Unfortunately, the school's orthodoxy undermines my humanist approach to teaching and creates deep divisions among our diverse population, destroying any chance at a true and unified learning community. Dwight Englewood used to claim that we teach students how to think, not what to think. But sadly, that is just no longer true.
All right, so that was a great video. That was pretty powerful. All right, so here in Chandler Unified School District, we had a board meeting, and it involved critical race theory. So how does critical race theory, how does that go, factor into election integrity? So what it has to do with, and I'm very confident about this, is it's about, for lack of a better term, I really think they want to dumb down the education system. They want to teach all these social justice warrior themes. And as she says, we're categorizing kids, we're giving kids an identity. We're definitely squashing or like critical thinking. We're not letting children experience that. They're kind of being told, about this particular group as an oppressor. Anyway, I can go on, but we're forgetting what education is about. Education is about teaching reading, writing, math, the sciences, civics, the true history of the United States, even the ugly parts. I mean, yeah, I agree, teach it all, but we're trying to change history, and we're trying to get this narrative going that creates divisiveness. And I mean, that teacher's, I couldn't have said it better. She just does such an amazing job. All right, so Chandler Unified School District, they claim that they're not doing critical race theory anymore. Well, I was sent a document. Wait, let me take that off. I was sent a document, and I will go through this and start talking about some of these pieces. But this is basically the Chandler Unified School District Deep Equity Program. There were many of us that were sent this, so you can see it for yourself. So even if the school decided not to move forward with critical race theory, deep equity, whatever they want to call it, just a week ago, they had a symposium. And here's the symposium. I showed this to you yesterday, but it's basically strengthening. If you, in watching her video, you could see these same words, strengthening equity work through emotional support, the power of educations in the lives of marginalized students. And then a culture of equity through inclusion, and then historically marginalized students. It goes on. And this was symposium delivered to, here it is, Chandler Unified School District, June 1st. And, you know, Chandler is claiming they're not doing critical race theory. This is a big part of critical race theory. So I don't know what they're talking about. So lots of parents showed up yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, to speak at the board meeting. Oh, wait, I forgot. I didn't share the screen. Sorry about that. Let me go back to this 1 second. All right, so this is right here. This is the screen. I just want to show it to you. It's strengthening equity work through emotional support, the power of educators in the lives of marginalized students. And then here we have historically marginalized students want to create systematic change your leadership thinking. So it's all there. All right, sorry. I didn't share the screen before. Okay, so we've got this going. There's no question that there's a critical race theory component to the Chandler Unified educational system. And then we had a gentleman get arrested. I'm sure a lot of you know this. He was arguing that the open meeting law does not allow for just 25 people to be allowed in. If you watched that clip I played earlier of that woman, there were people sitting on the floor. You know, that's how Chandler used to be. Chandler Unified School District, they used to let the people in the room. And now, I guess in order to keep the peace or something, they're not allowing more than 25 in the room at once. I got into the room to do my 1-minute speech, and then when people like Charlie Kirk and James T. Harris left, they allowed me to go in for a little bit. All right, this is the more alarming piece that I want to show all of you. It's a piece on white supremacy and all these traits that they are associating with white supremacy. And this to me is really scary. All right, so here is a paper, and it's called Divorcing White Supremacy Culture. Okay, this is pretty. I showed this the other day. I'm going to show it again because it's that alarming. White supremacy culture. Okay, so what type of keywords are they associating with white supremacy? Perfectionism. All right, so let's not aim to do our best. When I see perfectionism, to me, it just means aim for A's, aim for doing a great job on your school paper. Nobody's perfect, but set your goals to do as well as you can. And now here I'm hearing perfectionism. It's a white supremacy culture trait. Here's the next one, sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is a white supremacy culture trait. I'm just going to go through all of them. Defensiveness, quantity over quality, worship of the written word, only one right way, paternalism, either or thinking, power hoarding, fear of open conflict, individualism. That one really strikes me. Yeah, let's not have individualistic thought. Let's all do group think. Yeah, group think. Let's think like everyone else. Let's see how far we get in this country if everyone subscribes to group think. I'm the only one. Progress is bigger, more. Objectivity. Again, if you're just tuning in, these are all terms that are considered white supremacist. Objectivity, right to comfort, and that's it. So I just find that this is absolutely amazing that this paper is not only written. I don't know if this was delivered to school teachers, but it's part of the CRT, Critical Race Theory training program. Okay, and again, once again, Chandler Unified School District, I am so glad that they claim that they are not doing this. Here it is right here. This was the symposium, March 1st. All righty, so let me see what else I can find here. Let me just close this. So I have the, we'll just show the arrest of Steve Daniels at the Chandler Unified School District meeting the other night. Let me pull this up. I'll just take a minute to come up. Yeah, Facebook has been really slow with me. I wonder why. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. I know lots of people posted this on my page, unless they took it down. Where's Steve? Oh no, did they take all the Steve down? Nope, here it is. All right, we'll do the beginning and the end of this.
Chandler School Board, Chandler School District for the school board meeting tonight. So look how many people there are here, which is a good turnout so far, but they've completely blocked off the entire parking lot. We've got squad cars blocking off the entire parking lot. They've got everybody corralled in this front area. They've got the gates locked behind me. You got the gates locked behind me. Apparently, they're not going to let anybody into the meeting to watch. You have to stand outside in order to wait to speak. Not sure what that's all about. But I'm pretty sure that based on open meeting law, they need to allow everybody in here to watch. Oh, here's some interesting characters here. Got good old James T. Harris down here to make his appearance. It's a lot of people.
Brenda Butler, Luann Sedgwick.
This is how a tyrannical government works, folks. Watch this.
Hey, can I at least ask you if you would just mind standing over here so we can clear this path for them? I'm not going to ask you to stop doing anything else right now, but just if we can just that's perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Sure, you'll be in the lobby until we call you.
Appreciate you not violating the law right now. Thank you. Tyrannical government, folks, is what it looks like. See how they all line up to protect the government?
Actually, they would be fine if they brought a TV monitor out here. They'll
This is a violation of public meeting law. What if you don't have a phone?
I don't have a phone with everybody. It's not charged, and they're violating my
That is violating her right.
Well, no one's stopping me from getting the phone.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's not the
Holy
way the law works.
shit.
You can watch it anywhere on the YouTube.
You can watch it anywhere.
Nobody's stopping you from going to get a phone.
Wow.
That's not
This is your government, people. This is your tyrannical government. This is the police telling. Okay, everyone needs to know what this officer just said. He said, this is adhering to open meeting law because you can watch it on your phone. She said, I don't have a phone. He said, well, you can go get one. Okay, this is how it works. These are tyrannical police officers who don't know the law, and they are protecting the tyrannical government. This is how this works. No, it's not their superiors. Don't make excuses for them. They're just following orders, right? So did the Nazis. The Nazis just followed orders. There are a lot of people right now. There are survivors of the Holocaust that say what is taking place right now in America in many ways is worse. In many ways is worse than what happened in pre-Nazi Germany.
Sir, I'm asking
no,
you
I am
the
speaking.
property.
Ma'am, you need to get out of my
As a
face.
representative, Chandler Unified
You're
School
not
District,
anyone. You are not anyone.
I'm asking you
No.
to leave the property right now.
Ma'am, I'm asking you to step away from me. I am talking. Back off me. So again, what is taking place right now in America? Do not touch me. 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 Sir? Oh, okay. I'm being physically, they're using force on me. I did not assault anyone. Sir, you are making a huge mistake. There are a lot of people watching. You arrest me for what? Everyone get this. Everyone get this. There's hands on me. This is a lawsuit, buddy. You are in trouble. You are in trouble. You are in trouble. You need to let go of me right now. I am commanding you to let. I did not assault anyone. You need to let go. You need to let go of me. Stop assaulting me. He is assaulting me. He is assaulting me. This man is assaulting me. I am trying.
You're under arrest.
I am trying.
You are under arrest. Get yourself
For what? I am being assaulted.
You just said that. I just told you why you're under arrest.
All right, that was Steve Daniels. So he was arrested. He was held overnight without bail. He was charged with trespassing. And when he got, I was told this morning, I haven't verified this, but I was told this morning by someone helping with the Rusty Bowers recall that after Steve Daniels got out of jail, the next day he went straight to go get signatures for the Rusty Bowers recall. So he's dedicated to the cause. I don't know what else to say. All right, I got something here. This is where did this go? I got something. This looks good. This is Charlie Kirk. So Charlie Kirk was at the school board meeting. I don't know if he's talking about it here, but let's hear what he has to say.
Words in the English language. It's something that we use quite a lot. So the word trust originally comes from an Old Norse word, which means traust, which means strong when you fall. Basically, it comes from this idea that to make one strong and safe, or to rely on. We have trusted our school boards and our education system to people we thought had our best intentions at heart. But similar to a virus that was in our country before we realized it, these school boards were infected by parasites who wish to teach your children a series of ideologies that are so harmful to who we are as Americans. Ronald Reagan famously said, "Trust, but verify." William Shakespeare probably had the best quote on trust. "Don't trust the person who has broken faith once." Well, that's exactly what's happened with these school boards. And the common through line is these parents that are testifying and they're rising up is it's that parents trusted these administrators and school board members were teaching and doing the ethical and moral right thing. And this real energy and enthusiasm that I have not seen since the Tea Party movement and parts of the Trump movement, but this is different. This is just so organic and it's so focused. It's focused on very specific action. Is something that I think must be harnessed for the better. One of the parents last night at Chandler Unified School District said, Chandler Unified School District has lost 2,000 students in the last year. People are voting with their feet. People are saying, I'm not going to send my kids to these schools anymore, these government schools. And you could do that too. But you know what's so amazing? These parents that have pulled their kids out of these schools were still showing up to speak. Because they said, as long as I exist and I pay taxes, even though my kids are no longer in the school district, I care about the well-being of the other kids and I care about the well-being of our nation. And so even if you do not have kids in the school system, even if you do not have kids currently in Chandler Unified or Peoria or in Scottsdale, you should still show up. Now, they try to find a reason on process to try to discontinue these meetings. But I can tell you that when these tyrants and these autocrats and these sociopathic, unimpressive, hyper-aggressive administrators who sit on these boards actually have to look at the white in your eyes and not just read some angry email, things will change. There was an unmistakable message sent to Chandler yesterday, which is, if you keep this up, we are not going to stay off your case. If you keep this up, we are not going to stop showing up. We're not going to stop protesting. We're not going to stop putting up signs. And one of the parents yesterday, this sweet guy, he said, you know what? I just came from the Chandler Unified Administrative Office, and I spent 6 hours there. And I filled out a FOIA request form for every single employee in Chandler Unified School District. In fact, another parent testified yesterday. I think we got that thumb drive, didn't we? We get that thumb drive? This other parent said, I spent 7 months getting every single email and curriculum in Chandler. They said I had to bring my own printer. Literally, this is the type of process stuff. So he comes in with his own printer to the school district, and he has every piece of curriculum. And I can tell you right now on charliekirk.com, we are exclusively going to break all of it. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Democracy dies in darkness, as some paper would say. What is done under the cover of night and treachery and what serpents do will not survive and thrive as long as there are people that believe in truth and bring those things to light. And that's where you come in. And that's why this summer, the summer of victory, as we push back against mandatory vaccines and push for transparency in our elections and push for transparency and action in our school boards, real action, I'm telling you right now, they are worried. They are worried that real people that never have been involved in this sort of thing called politics before are starting to have energy and enthusiasm. And this is something we can win, and it is the most important fight. The fight for our school boards is the future of our children. The fight for our school boards is a fight for our morals and our values and our country. And we're going to win.
All right, that was Charlie Kirk. I think Charlie Kirk does an excellent job. Charlie is one of my favorite commentators, and Dan Bongino is one of my favorite commentators as well. Do you mind if I pull up a little bit of Dan Bongino? I know he talked about the Arizona audit a bit. I don't know if he's been talking about the Arizona audit lately, but Dan Bongino, I don't know, I find him funny. Let's just listen to a little bit of recent stuff from Dan, because if you guys haven't listened to Dan, he's a really good podcaster.
Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
So for those of you who are new listening to my podcast, even some of the production team, not Joe knows about it. The greatest source ever, the Fightin' 279er. Joey's back. The Fightin' 279er. Yeah, he's back. The greatest source in the history of humankind. Gave me a lot of information about Spygate. Matter of fact, if you read my first book on the Spygate scandal called Spygate, convenient, right? You read it now, it was written, 4.5 years ago. A lot of it based on information from the 279er. You'll be like, gosh, did he write this yesterday? We were ahead of the curve. He's got some stuff. And let me just ask the question up front. I hate unnecessarily long teases. Did Bill Barr stop a catastrophic blackmail threat in the United States before he left office? Oh, leave that question right there. Stew on that one for a moment. Today's show brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your data from big tech with the VPN I trust. Go to expressvpn.com/Bongino. Pick it up. Welcome to the Dan Bongino Show. I've got that. I've also got the Pravda media not embarrassed at all by just absolutely blowing it on the lab leak and hydroxychloroquine. We're not blowing it. They're just, pumping Chinese propaganda. Also, We've got a very important segment here, too, about another Trump hoax debunked. But it's important. It's not just about humiliating the media. It's about how this whole thing happened. It's very important. Don't miss that. I've got audio and some supercuts there. Today's show brought to you by Tommy John. You want a gift for the dad who's a big softie or the dad who loves naps? I'm both of those. No matter the dad, get them a gift they can be comfortable in. Tommy John. I was a big fan of Tommy John before they were a sponsor of the show. I have their original pairs with the different font on them. They're like, I should put them up and frame them in my house. I had the original. From the ball-catching dads to the ball-scratching dads. So all dads agree when they're wearing Tommy John underwear. You like that? They're much more comfortable and they can do everything better. That's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics. Hundreds of thousands of them, me included, after 13 years and tens of thousands of five-star reviews. Call Tommy John the most comfortable underwear ever. The only downside, you'll never wear another pair. That way, if you have them, you'll just keep washing your nose and wearing your Tommy Johns. With dozens of comfort innovations, once a dad tries Tommy John underwear, he's never going back. They have breathable, lightweight, wicking fabric. Spit it out with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. With over 14 million pairs sold, dads across America love Tommy John underwear. There's no risk. He's always covered with the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free, guarantee. How do you get them? Go to TommyJohn.com/Dan for 20% off your first order right now. Order by June 15th for delivery by Father's Day. It's a great gift. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Dan. TommyJohn.com/Dan. See site for details. All right, Joe, let's go. Joe's very excited for today's show because he sees what's coming. Anytime there's a 279er hit, you know it's going to be lightning. So again, let's just ask the question right up front. Did Bill Barr stop a potentially catastrophic blackmail threat from the United States by our now sworn enemy, nuclear-powered enemy, China? This is going to be a serious segment. I want you to pay very close attention to the dates on these seemingly unrelated stories and ask yourself that question. Did he know something? Were they getting some information about China potentially blackmailing very powerful incoming United States political figures? Did Bill Barr know that? Look at this article by The Federalist. Nothing profound in the title, pretty straightforward. Jordan Davidson article. Attorney General William Barr to depart administration, Trump announces. I think he announced it via Twitter. Look at the date on this. December 14th, 2020. Okay. Headline, Bill Barr was leaving in December, of 2020, December 14th. Well, what's the big deal? I want you to pay very close attention to the date on this article, December 8th, just about a week earlier from Axios. Remember this story? Exclusive. Suspected Chinese spy targeted California politicians. Bethany Allen Ibrahimian and Zach Dorfman, Axios. Look at the date. December 8th, 2020. What was that story about? Story was about hapless, failed, disgraceful human being who managed to sliver his way into Congress. Eric Swalwell, who apparently has not yet to this day disavowed that he may have had relations, air quote, with a Chinese spy. Weird. So that story is December 8th. Barr leaves December 14th. Swalwell, Congress, in fact, through Swalwell, may have been infiltrated by another Chinese spy, in addition to the Dianne Feinstein scandal. Gosh, that's really strange, the date. And then you see, just 2 days later, you see this rather strange CNN story creep its way out, too, by Evan Perez and Pamela Brown, CNN Politics. Federal criminal investigation into Hunter Biden focuses on his business dealings in China. Look at the date, December 10th, 2020. You getting this? You picking up what we're putting down here? Isn't it weird? Just 4 days later, it's announced that Bill Barr's leaving. I mean, Bill Barr knew he was leaving way before December 14th of 2020. You don't think he just popped in the door December 14th? He said to Trump, hey, I'm done. See you later. Have a nice day. Enjoyed my time here. Here's a stogie for you. That's not what happened. Clearly, Bill Barr probably knew in late November, early December, he was leaving. Bill Barr probably knew, tying this together and putting a bow on it right now, Bill Barr probably knew China had a bevy, a cornucopia, a Thanksgiving feast of blackmail material on major Democrats in the United States, including Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Eric Swalwell, and possibly others. And what was Bill Barr's biggest fear? And listen, I want to be candid here. I am speculating. I can't obviously get in Bill Barr's head, but my source on the almighty 279er has never let me down. I don't think the dates on these stories are unrelated. Let's chalk talk for a second here and envision what could have happened. So Bill Barr knows he's leaving. It's December, so he knows that the election results aren't going their way. I get it. I understand the shenanigans. I'm saying, though, he realizes this isn't looking good for him. Bill Barr probably says, listen, I was the Attorney General of the United States twice. I can't have China blackmailing the incoming administration and a bunch of Democrats who are now going to take power and are going to take back the House of Representatives. I can't have that. I know they have this blackmail material. We have this spy who may have had relations with a congressman from California, a Democrat, Eric Swalwell. I don't know what they have there. This spy could have everything on Swalwell. We also know Hunter Biden had business dealings with the spy chief of China. Hunter Biden's words, not mine. Quote, spy chief of China. Those are his words, not mine. Can you imagine, again, the Thanksgiving feast of blackmail material, Hunter Biden and the breadcrumbs he left behind for the Chinese government to use as blackmail against the incoming administration? Hey, I can imagine the Chinese government. Be a real shame, Joe, if we leak this information out about Hunter. Well, what better way for Bill Barr to head off this catastrophic threat than to say, or someone I don't know if it was him directly, I can't say that. But what better way for either him or some patriot within the Department of Justice to say, guys, we can't have this. We're going to have to leak out this information. That way it's not blackmail if everybody knows about it. You can't walk in there as a Chinese spy chief or representative of the Chinese Communist Party and say to Joe Biden or Swalwell, hey, we know about those relations, again, treaded air quotes. We know about all these business dealings Hunter had with the spy chief. Be a real shame if that leaked out. I need you to do A, B, and C if it already leaked out. It's already out there. You can't bribe someone, but hey, I'm going to let the word out about this shady business deal you did with a local bank out if it's already a story in the New York Post. There's nothing to leak out anymore. This was a great hat tip Aruski by the Fightin' 279er. Folks, he's never let me down. I would be stunned if we don't find out later that somebody leaked these out intentionally to kneecap the Chinese government from potentially having a blackmail file on Biden and Swalwell. And by the way, Pelosi, you think this was an accident? Why would they have blackmail on a blackmail file on Pelosi too? Pelosi, what a Freudian slip. Pelosi. Why would they have a blackmail file on Pelosi too? Because Pelosi and Swalwell are like that. They're like two peas in a pod. They love each other. Those two are bosom buddies, man. Remember that Tom Hanks show? They are like, what was it, The Odd Couple? Those two, but they're not the odd couple. They're the even couple because they think alike. Pelosi has been Swalwell's biggest defender. Who knows what Swalwell might have given up about Pelosi and the leadership to this Chinese spy he allegedly had relations with. What kind of relations? We don't know. Be nice to find out. Someone in the DOJ, maybe Barr, clearly leaked this out to say to the Chinese government, I'm sorry. We can't leave like this. We're not going to let you do this. All happening, by the way, as the lab leak was being hidden, as a potential Chinese bioweapon we might have financed would have been hidden. By the way, I'm going to cover this again in a different way on my Fox News show Saturday, 10 p.m. Unfiltered with Dan Bongino on Fox News show. I'm going to cover this again, and it is going to be from a different angle. And we're going off script. I don't know what's going to happen, but you're going to love it.
All right, so that was Dan Bongino. I have learned so much from him. He was former New York City Police Department, and he was Secret Service for, I believe it was it Bush and Obama or Obama, but he was Secret Service. And I mean, I remember just listening to him. He's a very, 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 very good Trump supporter in terms of, I remember when he worked Secret Service, he's like, previous presidents did not compare to President Trump whatsoever. So, so anyway, that was Dan Bongino, and I just think he's a great guy. And I didn't realize that we're going to listen to so many ads on Tommy's underwear at the beginning there. Yes, I see in the comments a lot of people miss Rush Limbaugh. I would say I agree. I definitely, without question, miss Rush. Rush was an amazing man. All right, so they should have people at the audit right now. So let's go over and do a screenshot of the audit. Now that the tables are being collapsed, it's not as pretty because you don't have all the colors. So they took away the yellow tables and they're setting up for more, just one second. More physical examination tables. So here are the physical examination tables up front, right up here. Those are the PE tables, and you see they're getting in the equipment. That's what they're setting up these tables this morning. That is wonderful that they're getting all that set up. All right, and then we have from the other angle, we have here the counters, the ballot counters right here at the blue table. And again, we only have one pallet of ballots left. And then here we have the physical examination tables right here. Look at that. We have everyone shifted to here. And then we have a lot of the tables that were folded up so that we have more room for physical examination. So that is what is going on down at the audit. Very exciting stuff. And we will be done with all the analysis by June 30th, or at least that's the plan. All right. So what do I have for the conclusion? I think many of you know. May Arizona be the first domino to fall. I will be back here at 11 for a really short show, but I'll be back at 11 and then 7 this evening. Great seeing all of you. Love you. God bless you. And may Arizona be the first domino to fall.